Hey, so today I'll be analyzing 50 failed online courses. Courses that were like kind of in the process of building, that were launched. Some of them have been launched for a while, that simply just failed. Didn't work. Maybe they make a little bit of revenue, but nothing really sustainable. And the students were happy, and there was just a lot of problems, right? And I'm making this video because I want to show you exactly what they have been doing wrong and the actual solution to that. So everything they've been doing wrong and typical things that I see from my personal experience of being in the industry of courses and programs. What do people do that are typically wrong, and what's the actual solution for them? So I want you to watch this video and just listen to what I say. And when you're actually in the process of building your course or your program, switching it up in a way you don't actually do the same mistakes as these people do and have a failed courses of your own, right? That's really not what you want to do, because of course you're going to spend a lot of time into your course, a lot of effort, a lot of energy, and you don't want it to fail, right? So this is exactly why I made this video. So the intro, we're going to dive into the nitty gritty of what went wrong with 50 failed online courses that I analyzed. We've sifted through a range of courses across various niches to uncover the common pitfalls. What are the common mistakes I see that make courses fail? And here are the common patterns that I recognize after analyzing all these failed courses. What can I really see that people actually do wrong that a lot of other people do wrong as well, right? So I've looked at failed courses such as crypto courses, cooking courses, photography courses, and kind of fitness courses as well, fitness offers, a bunch of different offers, a bunch of different niches, but they kind of do have all the same kind of mistakes. So the first one is the common mistake of lack of clear objectives. So the problem is that many failed online courses lack clear goals. Like when they're actually building a course, it's important to have a goal for your course. What do you want students to go through the whole thing and get a specific result? And a lot of people actually lack that clear objectives. They didn't set at the start, or they had no idea what it really was. And that kind of leads to students being kind of confused about what they were actually supposed to achieve. And because of that, it's going to lead them to actually be not interested in the course and finishing out and essentially dropping out and just leaving the course. And of course, with that, they're not going to leave a good review and so on and so forth, right? So what's the solution to that in particular? Well, it's just to be very specific. Define a specific, measurable learning objective so students can know exactly what they'll gain by the end. And this is kind of tied into your offer as well, what you should actually offer in your course, what the end result can be for someone. So these are really just in the initial few steps. Poor content quality. The problem is courses with shallow, outdated, or generic content struggle to offer real value. A lot of people get to the course industry with their really basic knowledge and try to create a course and also charge it super high, but it's actually not valuable. You haven't spent all the time and all the resources or you're just really not an expert of your own, right? So learners that go through the course were not getting anything new or useful, which is not great. The solution for that is to focus on creating high quality, relevant content that offers fresh insights. Like something on your perspective. If you're really good at something, explain exactly how you did it. Explain something that you really think students can actually apply to themselves and get results, right? And also with that, you can regularly update your material to stay current. If you want to add more material, if you want to get feedback, you can also do that. That's really good to do that as well. So a lot of people, poor content quality, and people get into the course, and because it's poor content quality, they're not going to leave a good review, which will lead to the course kind of failing, right? Unappealing presentation. Many courses have dull or confusing visuals and poor design, making learning a chore. It has to be pretty simple. If you're making it too complex, the videos are too long, it's not clear, people can't really follow it, it's gonna disinterest them a lot, right? This includes bad layouts, low quality images, and a lack of multimedia. The solution to that is pretty easy. It's actually to invest, or you can actually do it on your own, in a professional design and make your course visually engaging. Whether that's the slides, whether that's the you want to do it on a PowerPoint, whatever, it has to be visually engaging for the students. You can use high quality visuals, interactive elements, and a clear layout, right? The fourth one, which is probably the biggest one and why most of them failed and why I see most of them failed, is ineffective marketing. Marketing is the whole reason your course is actually going to sell and make money. The problem with having ineffective marketing is that many courses completely just fail due to having a lack of solid marketing strategy. Not having a strategy put in place, not knowing what kind of content you're going to post, how you're going to advertise, the marketing angle. That's why they essentially failed. And again, that's one of the biggest reasons why most of them failed. And stuff like that. They didn't utilize social media nor email marketing or advertise effectively in general. And the solution to that, obviously, I can say it's pretty simple, but obviously it goes way more in depth. But it's just to develop an actual comprehensive marketing plan that includes social media, that includes emails if you can get to it, and potentially if you want to put ads as well. If let's say you don't have a follower account or you don't have people interested, there's many ways to go about it. I'm not going to give you an actual full marketing plan because it really depends on your niche. If you have people that follow you on any given platform, if you're completely new, it really depends. But just having a marketing strategy put in place is super important. Don't go into it trying to sell your course blindly. You're just going to fail like all the others, right? So course structure flaws. No cohesive structure. A problem with this as well is that many failed courses had a disorganized structure with modules that felt out of order and content that was hard to follow. Similar to the one that was not engaging, like the whole package of your content has to be like step by step, easy to understand. If it's at all complicated and stuff like that, people will simply just not go through modules, and essentially they just won't apply what's inside of it to the actual real world, which means your course is going to fail because nobody's going to get really good results. And the solution, obviously, is design a logical, well-organized course and structure, broke down into clear, manageable sections, ensure smooth progression. Exactly that step by step on how they can actually do exactly what you did, right? Missing practical application. So this is really the structure of the course and stuff like that. The problem is that courses that were too theoretical and didn't offer practical exercises or real world applications kind of were less effective. They didn't work as well. And the solution for that is, yes, to incorporate these practical exercises, case studies, and real life scenarios to help students apply the knowledge. But it also ties back a lot to having a community and accountability from people, like helping out people who are going through the course. If they have any questions, they can directly ask other people in the course, or you directly. This is also a great way to help with that solution and help that problem, right? No engagement. Similar to what I just said, a lot of courses lack interactive elements like quizzes, discussions, activities. This made learning experience feel passive and boring. If you're putting videos and stuff like that, make sure you add resources, make sure you add questions to it. You can add quizzes to it just to make it engaging. Super important. When you're learning, let's say, stuff at school, the teacher will kind of make it interactive when possible, usually. So try to mimic that as well. Solution, again, you can add interactive features as quizzes, discussion forums, and hands-on activities to keep students engaged. Super important. Moving on to the instructor issues, which is also a really big issue, the lack of expertise. A lot of problem I see with these courses, a lot of people want to get into the course space, want to get into the industry of selling what they know and their knowledge, but simply they're not really good at what they do. They maybe have a bit of knowledge, but they're not actually really good enough to help others. Now, I've made this point in other videos where you don't have to be a complete expert to be able to help other people, but you still have to have some kind of credibility that you've actually done this for yourself and you've actually are able to help other people. If you're still like at the early stages, it's hard to create an online course because nobody's going to get any benefits from it, right? So the problem with this is that courses were led by instructors who weren't experts in their field, and often they provide valuable insights or credible information. The information was just not real because they didn't actually go through it, and so on and so forth. And of course, you do see a lot of courses who have that, and that's why one of the reasons courses also have a bad stigma around people scamming and stuff like that, because they didn't actually do it themselves, or it's not structured and not valuable in any way, right? And that's not something you want to do. It's not going to work you can try to make a few $100 here and there if you do your course is invaluable, but in the long term, it's not going to work, right? So the solution: ensure that your course is led by knowledgeable and experienced instructors, which is yourself. If you want to bring in other people who are other experts and combine your forces together and teach other people, that's also really good, right? Who bring credibility and depth to the content. That's really super important. You're actually trying to create an education business around your course or program. That's really the long-term goal. So you have to be credible. You have to go deep. You have to really try to help people as much as possible, right? So number 2, poor communication. The problem with this is that instructors were kind of unresponsive or provided minimal feedback, creating a frustrating learning environment. Like I just mentioned, like having a course and program is good with videos and stuff like that, but you have to be involved in the learning process. You have to be there for your students. You have to help them. You have to create group chats in order for them to get the whole support they need. You have to make sure that they're not shy to ask questions to you, to other people. That's super important. And then communication is going to go a long way for the results. And again, when you get good results for them, that's where your course will succeed. That's really the basis of it. So the solution for that, again, maintain an open and effective communication with your students or people who enroll in your course, provide timely feedback, and be available to answer student questions, not like 24 hours of the day, but still like pretty much be really available to answer student questions at any time they might have. If you're too busy yourself, you've got other things, you can also just hire someone who's also an expert. He can jump in and help out with the questions. If you do have a lot of people, or if it's a big operation, you can also do that as well, right? If you're busy with other stuff and you don't want to necessarily be texting people all day and asking them questions or asking their questions, you can also bring in someone else to help out with that. So that's one solution for you as well. So kind of an overview of why these courses failed. The lack of connection to the audience as well. One of the biggest reasons these courses flopped is that they truly didn't connect with their audience needs. They didn't think about their audience. And this is one of the reasons we also do when we work with people who want to launch course programs, is the first step is actually just seeing exactly your audience and who are you actually going to be selling to. What do they actually need? What are the pain points? What are they looking for? What kind of price they want to pay, and so on and so forth. This is super important in order to actually create a product that's actually going to sell. Because if you're not, and you do like these people who create a course just because they think that's what they need, you're going to fail ultimately, right? So many creators make this mistake of assuming people want it instead of researching and validating their idea first. Again, super important. There's multiple ways you can actually do this. I go over this kind of in similar videos about like creating forums and asking directly the people that, let's say, follow you, if you have a following, exactly what they want, the pain points, and asking these kind of deep questions in order to get all the information necessary to do so, right? That's super important to do that. We call that an audience analysis, right? And research and market research as well. This is super important, right? If you don't have a following as well, you can also just research other people online and exactly see what their pain points are and so on and so forth. You can also do that. That's a good opportunity to do that as well. Over complicated or too basic. Some courses were either too complex or too simplified, leaving learners frustrated. If it's too complex, like I said, too complicated, nothing's clear, so on and so forth, they're just going to leave the course. And if it's too simplified, people are going to be like, hey, I just paid a lot of money and this is basic information, or it's too there's no in-depth content. So you have to kind of find the right balance. If your course is too advanced for beginners or too basic for experienced learners, it's going to turn people off, right? Kind of what I just said as well. Not enough engagement. Courses that feel like a one-way street with little to no interaction left learners feeling disconnected. Same thing. If there's no interaction, if there's no help, communication, they feel disconnected and are not going to go through the whole thing. Maybe they are going to go through the whole thing, but they're not actually going to apply it because it wasn't motivating for them to actually apply what they learned. And they're not going to get results, and your course is going to fail, right? No proof of results. People want to know your course works before they commit their time and money. This is like testimonials and results and all that sort of stuff. And I know a lot of people necessarily don't have it because they haven't launched the course yet or the program yet, but there's kind of ways to go around that. If you, in your case, in your journey, have helped other people and it wasn't through your course, you can definitely leverage that. If you've helped other people with smaller products and they've given you a good review, you can also do that. You can ask a friend for a review. There's multiple ways you can actually do it of getting results and getting testimonials for people that necessarily don't go through your course because you're in the process of building it, right? So yeah, many of the failed courses didn't show proof of success, like testimonials or results from proven students, leaving potential customers skeptical. So another reasons they failed, people weren't simply just, maybe the course is really good and would really get good results, but they simply just didn't put the results, didn't put the testimonials, so people just didn't buy because they didn't have any trust towards it. So super important to have that, to build trust, so people that actually look at your course are interested, actually buy in and take you up on your offer, right? So now here's the actual deal. I get it. Maybe creating your own offer is a huge time investment. If you're spending all that time building something that ends up failing, it's probably going to be frustrating. You don't want to end up like all the other people that I just mentioned and the things they did wrong and so on and so forth. And it's actually not your fault because you probably don't know the actual right ways to do a course and get a program going and actually be able to market it and sell it, right? You probably don't know about these things simply just because you haven't done it before. And that's not where you're really an expert in. You're expert in your own field, but you're not directly an expert in that, right? But it doesn't have to be that way. And if you want to save yourself from all the actual headache and make sure that you're creating a course or program that actually works and one that's actually profitable, engaging, and actually successful, and has all the right systems and strategies inside of it to be able to have success with it and make a lot of money with it, well, I can actually help you with that, right? What if you could skip the painful try and error? I've actually spent years kind of analyzing these courses and programs, and I actually have an agency myself who helps specifically people actually create these courses and programs and market them effectively and sell them effectively through a partnership, right? So if you're ready to avoid all the common mistakes that I just talked about and launch an actual winner course or program, we can definitely discuss about it, right? So if you're ready to do that, hit the link below and you can directly book a call with me. We can talk about your course or program and kind of what you had in mind and how potentially we can work together and help you get that course or program to those really good successful months that you're desiring. So if that's of interest, go to the link in bio, book a call with me directly. We can talk about it. And if not, see you in another video.